Hi, today we are going to be working on lesson 5-4 in your math workbook. It is found on page, let's see if I can show you, 317. We are going to be working on word problems with 3 add-ins. That means we're going to be adding 3 numbers together. You will obviously need your pencil so you can write in your math book, but I'm also going to ask you to get a whiteboard and a marker. That way we can draw some of the pictures on our whiteboard and then continue working in our book. The reason is for many of the problems in our book, there's not a lot of space to do the actual drawing of a picture to help us. So before we get started, I want to talk to you a little bit about adding 3 numbers. When we're adding 3 numbers, we can put those numbers in different order because when you're adding, when you're putting things together, it doesn't matter which number comes first. Let me show you what I mean. So if I wanted to add 3 numbers, I have 3 boxes here and I'm going to put some things in each box. I can put them in any order to add them together. So if I have like maybe 3 blue blocks, maybe I have 2 red blocks, and maybe I have 2 green blocks. So I'm going to put them together because when we're adding, we put things together and we end up with more or a larger sum. I'm going to put those together and these together. Now I'm just going to stack them on top of each other and count how many I have. I'm going to put the blue, and then the red, and then the green. Let me turn it sideways though so you can see. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 plus 2 plus 2 equals 7. Now, I can also do it in a different order. What if the red was first, and then the blue, and then the green? Well, let's stack them and see if we get the same number. So 2 plus 3 plus 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We still have 7. And I can move it around this way maybe and put the 2's together and then the 3. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It didn't change the sum or the answer because when we're adding, we can change the order. That is good news because that will be helpful today when we're adding 3 numbers together. The other thing that will be helpful today when we're looking to do our addition problems is trying to figure out what we call finding a 10. Adding numbers, we're going to look for a 10, and 10 frames are very helpful in doing that. If we're going to be able to add numbers in different order, we might want to make a 10 first and then add the last number. So let me show you. I'm just going to draw this. It'll be a little quicker than using my blocks. So for example, if I had the numbers, I'll write them at the bottom for us. Maybe I might have the number 3 and the number 6 and the number 4. And I need to know how much is 3 and 6 and 4. Well, I might want to just find a 10, look for a 10. I know that 6 and 4 make 10. So I might put those numbers together first and then add these 3. Because we just found out a moment ago that it doesn't matter what order I add these together. I get to choose. So if I put 6 dots here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'll use a different color so you can see it. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I can put my 3. 1, 2, 3. So I put all the numbers. I did the 6, I did the 4, and I did the 3. So when I put all those together, that will be my sum, or what we're going to write as our answer. So now it's easier to count because I already know that this is 10. I can keep counting 11, 12, 13. So I'm going to put the number 13. So today, while you couldn't see that. So today, while we are working, we will be looking for ways to make a 10 if we can, because that makes adding up our numbers a little bit easier. And we may change the order in which we add things. So let's get started. So our first question right away is about these kids with the fruit. I have 6 oranges, Alex has 2 pears, and Jada has 4 apples. How many pieces of fruit do we have in all? Well, those words in all tell me they want me to add them all together. And then they said write 2 different addition equations to solve the problem. Well, we already know we can change the order that they're in, so that will help us. So let's do it first, the order that they are in the word problem. I have 6 oranges. Here I'm going to write a 6 in the first space. Alex has 2 pears, so I'm going to draw a 2 or write a 2 in the second space. And Jada has 4 apples. 4 apples. Now I just need to add together 6 and 2 and 4. So we have some room here, so I can just draw dots right here. So I have 6 and 2 and 4. So now I can just count all my dots and get my answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I can write the answer 12. Now, I'm going to put them in a different order that might make it easier for me to add these numbers together. I know already, because we just talked about it, that 6 and 4 make 10. So I'm going to put those numbers first. I'm going to put 6 and 4, and then I'm going to add my 2. This is very similar to the one I just showed you a moment ago on the dry erase board. So if I wanted to write it, and I could write it using my tin frame, I would do the same thing. I would put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And my last number was 2. 1, 2. So 6 and 4 are 10, 11, 12. So my answer is 12. It's the same answer because I didn't change the numbers. I just moved them as far as what order they were in. If you need to do dots, dots are a great way to count and find your answer. So if you already know that's 10, then you just have to add 2 more. So that's 2 ways to do that problem. Let's keep going. All right. So at the top of the page, it says that Vince collects red rocks. He separates them into 3 baskets. How many red rocks does he have in all? Asking the same thing. They want us to add all of them. So we need to add up 5 and 4 and 6. So we can do them in the order that they're in. And that's what he's saying. I can add 5 and 4 first and get 9. And now that he knows these 2 numbers are 9, all he has to do is add the 6. So he has 9 from the first 2 plus 6 is 15. Or he can do it another way. He can find a 10. So he's making 6 and 4, or 4 and 6 here. That's 10. I might even write that there to help me remember. So that's 10. Now I just need to add 5. So 10 and 5 is 15. So either way you group your numbers, your sum is the same. And that's what we were just talking about. So they want you to explain that in your own words here. We're going to go along to the guided practice. We're going to write an equation to solve each problem and then choose a way to group the add-ins. The add-ins are the numbers that we're adding. Tess finds some shells at the beach. She finds 7 pink shells, 3 black shells, and 4 white shells. How many shells does Tess find in all? All right, there's not a lot of space to do all that, but I'll see if I can squeeze it in here. So she said there was 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then she said 3 black shells, so we had 3 more. I can put them right here. 1, 2, 3. And now I need to add the 4 white shells. I'm going to draw 4 little squares for those ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I can see my numbers easily. I have 7 and 3 and 4. That's what it's asking us to add. How much is that? Well, 7 and 3, that is my 10. And then 4 more make 14. So this one they did for us, but I just wanted to show you that. All right, so now we have one we have to do by ourselves. Tom sees some birds. He sees 4 red birds, 2 blue birds, and 6 black birds. How many birds does Tom see in all? So they're asking us to add all those together. We can use our part-whole mat that we've been using in math to also figure out this problem. So I'm going to use my whiteboard, and you can do it with me right now. I'm going to make a rectangle, and I'm just going to make it in 3 parts because we have 3 numbers we're adding together. So they told us we had 4 red birds, 2 blue birds, and 6 black birds, and they want to know how many that is in all. You can just draw dots for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many is that all together? Now you just count them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is what we've been putting at the top here as the whole thing, 12. All of these numbers together equal 12. Sorry. There, it equals 12. All 3 numbers. So let's do that in our math book. We just figured that out. So we're just going to copy it down. We just had a little more room to do it. So we have 4 red birds, 2 blue birds, and 6 blackbirds. We can count them all up, and it ends up with the number 12. So how many birds does he see in all? He sees 12 birds. All right. Next page, we're going to write an equation to solve each problem. Number 3. Pat has cards for his favorite athletes. He has 8 baseball cards, 2 football cards, and 3 basketball cards. How many cards does Pat have in all? All right, I'm going to use my board again so I have plenty of room to write my pictures. So just make a rectangle, and you're going to have 3 parts to figure out what the whole thing is, because today we're adding them together. So the story said we had 8 baseball cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to write that number so I don't forget. And he had 2 football cards. And he had 3 basketball cards. All right, I'm going to give you a second. Go ahead and count those. All right, if you counted those, hopefully you're going to get the same number I'm going to get. I'm going to show you, though, a quick way to do it. You can count all those, but I noticed something about this 8 and 2. 8 and 2. If I have 8 and 2, that makes a 10. Yeah, that makes a 10. So let me show you in the 10 frame. So if you have 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it said you had 2, those are our first 2 numbers, 8 and 2, and now it says 3. I can put the 3, extra 3 down here. So those are all my numbers. Well, 8 and 2 make 10. This is a filled 10 frame. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13. So our answer here to 8 plus 2 plus 3 is 13. That's the whole thing for all of these numbers together. So in our book, we're going to write that down. So he had 8 baseball cards plus 2 and 3 was 13. 8 and 2, this much made 10, and then we had 3 more. So that's 13. So we had 13 cards. All right, Number 4, Bob plants seeds. He plants 2 brown seeds, 6